This is the continuation of the previous video that I dropped on linear programming, solving linear programming using Simplex method. Um, this is the problem that we solved. I have already told you how I got to this place, and this will be the part 2 of the video. Probably if you have not watched the part 1, you can proceed to channel and check the channel. You can search for linear programming simplex form part 1. It will bring you. So this is where we are going to be starting today. This is where we're going to be starting today. Now, I told you that this is the first iteration, that this is not our final solution, because for we to obtain optimal solution, the value of our pj minus zj must be less than or equals to 0. But when we calculate our pj minus zj in this place, we realize that we are still having a positive number, which is 2. So this is not the optimal solution of this linear programming problem. Therefore, I will proceed to my second iteration. So I'm going to be using this to compute my second iteration. Kindly follow me. In order to proceed with this solution, this is not our solution, because for every linear programming solution, when we are using simplex method, the value of our pj minus zj must be less than or equals to 0. Pj minus zj, that is this value here, pj, let me put it down here, pj minus zj, must be less than or equals to 0. For we to say that we have already obtained optimal solution, the value of pj minus zj must be less than or equals to 0. But the value here, if you look at, I have 0 here, I have positive 2 here, I have 0 here, I have negative 2 here. Therefore, this value, I still have a positive value that is greater than 0 here, so which is 2. So since since 2 is the value that is greater than here, so therefore my key column will be this column, because the highest value of pj minus zj is 2. So therefore my key column is x2, this column, that is 17/5 and 2/5. That is my key column. Now you have to find the key row so that we can determine our key elements. But in order to find the key row, I have to find the fraction or ratio first. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Don't forget that in order to find the fraction or ratio, we are going to be dividing the element in the key column divided by the corresponding real activity. That is 4. If you check here, I have 4 here. So I'm going to be dividing 4 divided by 17/5. That will be my the value of what I'm looking for. 4 divided by 17/5. I will have the fraction and the ratio here. Then I will have another one, 2 divided by 2/5 divided by 4 divided by 2/5. Then I will have my ratio. In this place, I have a real activity as 4, and the corresponding element in the key column is 17/5. So I'm going to be having 4 divided by 17/5. So I can represent it as this: 4 divided by 17/5. If I said 4/1, this division sign will change to multiplication sign. So this denominator will come to the numerator. So I will have something like 5/17 also. So 4 times 5 is 20. So I'm going to be having 20/17. So the value of this fraction in this place is 20/17. So I'm going to have 20/17. So I've already gotten the ratio of this. Now let's proceed to get the ratio of this second one. It's also follow the same procedure. I'm going to be dividing my real activity divided by the corresponding element in the key column. So I'm going to be having 4 divided by 2/5. 4, let me put it there, 4 divided by 2/5. Don't forget that I can write it as over 1. So 4 divided by 2/5. 4, if I change this division sign to multiplication sign, 5 will come up. So I'm going to be having 4/1 multiplied by 5/2. 4 times 5 is 5 times 4 is 20. So 20 divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I'm going to be having 10 in here. So the the ratio here the ratio here will be 10. So I have my ratio as this. Now, how do I determine my key column? From the previous video that I dropped on the channel, I told you that if you want to determine your key row, the least positive value in your ratio, that row will be your key row. The least positive value in your ratio, that row will be your key row. Now, if you look at this, 20/17 is less than 10, and they are both positive. So my the row whereby 20/17 falls to, that will be my key row, and that's what I'm going to be circling. I will have to circle from this place. So this is my key column and this is my key row. So the element that intersects both key row and key column, this element is 17/5. So my key element is now 17/5. Let me put it down. Key element, the key element, the key element, the key element here is now 17 all over 5. The key element now is 17/5. So I can proceed to the second iteration like that. I can proceed to second iteration. Of course, if I want, I have to get the new value for my second iteration. So I'm going to be having another table. This is my new table. This is the second iteration. Let me put it there. Second iteration. Second iteration. This is the second iteration. So now let me write something. So this is the second iteration. Now let's proceed. Don't forget that our key element is 17/5, the element that intersects both the key row and the key column when I draw the line. So the element is 17/5. So the key element is 17/5. Now let us label our table. This is how the table will look like. All this table that we have here. Don't forget that I told you that our key element is this, which is 17/5. So now if you want to get the value of x, okay, there is one thing to do. There will be something, one variable will leave this column and another variable will enter. If you look at this, the column which the key column the column which the key element is pointing to 2. When I trace it like this, it's pointing to 2. So therefore x2 will be substituted in this place and 0x3 will leave this place. So I'm going to be having in this place, let me balance this, 0x3 will be leaving. So x2, the column which the key element pointed to, the key element might be this, just trace it up and it is also x2. So therefore the value of your variable or the key column row, so that will be the value that will be entering. So 0x3 will be leaving. So I'm going to be having x2. I'm going to be having x2 here, x2. And don't forget that in our objective function, the previous one that I showed you, the value of x2 in our standard objective function is 6. So I'm going to be having 6x2. So therefore I'm going to be having 6x2. Now, in order to get the real activity level, since this is my key element, I'm going to be dividing all this row. I'm going to be dividing all this row by the key element. So therefore I'm going to be having something like 4 divided by 17/5. 4 divided by 17/5, that will give me 4 divided by 17. Let me put it here. 4 divided by 17 all over 5 will give me 4 multiplied by 5/17. So I'm going to be having 20 all over 17. 20 over 17. So this is 20 over 17. The real activity here becomes 20 all over 17. So for the next one, for the x1, I have 0. So 0 divided by 20. I'm going to change this to 0. 0 divided by 17/5 will give me 0. So this one is 0. And for the x2, 17/5 divided by 17/5. Yes, I'm going to divide by itself. So 17/5 divided by 17/5. 17/5 divided by 17/5. If the division sign changes to multiplication, this will change. So I'm going to be having 17/5 multiplied by 5 all over 17. So this will cancel this, we make 1, this is 1, this and this is 1. Therefore, I'm going to be having 1 here. Now, the real value of x3. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to divide this 1 divided by, okay, 1 divided by, let me put this down so that you will not be confused. 1 divided by, the key element is 17 over 5. So 17 over 5, if I change this sign to multiplication sign, I'm going to have 1 multiplied by 5 all over 17. 1 multiplied by 5 over 17 is 5 over 17. So the new value that will be on this S3, instead of this one, the new value will become 5 over 17. 5 all over 17. So now for the x4, here, for the x4, I have 4 over 5 as the old value. If I want to get the new value, I'm going to be having 4 all over 5 divided by, the key element is 17 over 5, so I'm going to be having 17 all over 5. If I change this sign to multiplication sign, don't forget that the numerator will come to the denominator for the other side, so I'm going to be having 5 all over 17. 5 divided by this and 5 divided by this, 4 times 1 will be what? 4. So I'm going to be having 4 over 17. So the new value for this will be 4 over 17. 4 divided by 17. Right now, I've gotten the new value for the first row. Don't forget, the reason why I put 6 here is that when you check the standard objective function is 6, 10x1, and the coefficient of x2 in standard objective function is 6. So I have to put 6 here. If the coefficient is 4, I'm going to put 4 here. So therefore, don't be confused that I put 6 here. And also, the reason why I have to divide my key or the row which the key element falls to, I have to divide by the key element itself, because I want to make my key element 1. Therefore, I will have to divide it by itself. And if I divide it only by itself, it will change the question. Therefore, I have to divide all the whole by the key element, so that when I multiply it, I will also result to the answer. So I've not done anything. Now, let's get our new value for second row, which is 10. So I'm having this one here, 10xi, 10x, 10x, and here. So let's proceed to get our new value for the 10x. And don't forget that in my previous video, the part 1 of this linear programming problem, I dropped a question that I dropped a formula like this, that is new value. Let me shorten this so that you understand. New value is equals to old value. New value is equals to old value minus the product of corresponding key row elements, multiplied by corresponding key column elements, all over key elements. So now, this is the formula that we're going to be using to get the real value of this. Don't make the mistake. You only divide the row where your key element is by the key element. You won't have to divide the second row with the key element. You won't get the real value like that. The real value is getting by using this formula. So therefore, don't be confused. Now, if you want to get the real value for 4, the new value for 4 now will become, the new value will be, so if I want to get the new value for 4 itself will become the whole value. So I'm going to be having, in this place, let me erase this formula. Now. The real value for 4 will be new value for 4. Let me have new value. I will have the whole value, which is 4 itself. 4 minus the product. What is the product of the key row element, the corresponding key row element? That is the element that falls under the key row that correspond to 4. When I trace it, it is this 4. So I'm going to be having 4 minus 4, old value minus the key row element, multiplied by the corresponding key column element. What the key column element that corresponds to 4 to this value is what? 2 over 5. Yeah, it is 2 over 5. So I'm going to be having multiplied by 2 all over 5. Now, I've already multiplied this. Now, what's my key element? The key element is what? 17 over 5. So I'm going to be having divided all over 17 all over 5. Now, if you multiply this, you want to calculate this, let's solve it gently. You put this 4 minus 4 minus 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. So I'm going to be having 8 all over 5 divided by 17 over 5. 17 over 5. 8 all over 5 divided by 17 over 5. If this division sign changes to multiplication, this 5 will come to the numerator and 17 will go to what? The denominator. So I'm going to be changing it. 5. I'm going to be having 5 multiplied by 5 all over 17. Now, this one, this will go with this. This will cancel this. So I'm going to, what I'm left with is 4 minus 8 over 17. 4 minus 8 all over 17. 4 minus 8 all over 17. 4 minus 8 over 17. If you find the LCM is 17. So don't forget there is 1 8. Now 17 divided by 1, that is 17. 17 multiplied by 4 is 68. So 68. 60. I'm going to have in 68 here. 68. This minus sign is minus 17 divided by 17. That's 1. 1 multiplied by 8 will be what? 8. So I'm left with what? 68 minus 8 will give me 60. So I'm left with 60 over 17. So the new value of this 4 is what? 60 over 17. So I'm going to be having 60 all over 17 here. Please don't be confused. The formula that I wrote for you earlier in the previous video, that's the formula I'm still using. If I want to get the new value of 4, the new value of 4 will be this 4 itself, which is the whole value, subtracted by the corresponding key column and corresponding key row. If you trace this up, you will see that it is 4 that is here. So the corresponding key row element is what? 4. Corresponding key row element is 4. So multiplied by the corresponding key column. When I trace it here, the corresponding key column is what? 2 over 5. Please don't be confused. Now I've gotten 2 over 5. That is what, then divided by the key element, then you proceed with your calculation. You are going to result into 60 over 17. Now let's get the new value for 1. So that's what I'm still going to be doing. The new value for 1. Let us follow the same approach. The new value for 1 now will be 1 itself, which is the old value. The new value for this one, 1 minus what? Old value minus the corresponding key row element is 0. So I'm going to be having 0 multiplied by the corresponding key column element is 2 over 5. So multiply by 2 all over 5, 2 over 5 divided by the key element is 17 over 5 divided by 17 over 5. So if you divide the 0 multiplied by 2 over 5, it will give me 0. So 0 divided by 17 over 5 is will give me 0. So 1 minus 0 is what? 1. So the new value will be what? 1. Let's proceed with our calculation. If I want to get the new value for the this 2 over 5 itself, it will be the 2 over 5 itself, which is the whole value. New value for 2 over 5 will be new value is equals to 2 over 5 will be 2, the old value, which is 2 over 5, minus the product of the corresponding key row elements. The corresponding key row element on 2 over 5 is what? 17 over 5. 17 over 5 multiplied by the corresponding key column element itself. It's the 2 over 5 itself is the corresponding key column element. So I'm still going to be having what? 2 over 5 in a divided by key element itself. So I'm going to be having 17 over 5. So if I calculate this, the result is what? 0. How do I know that it's 0? 17 over 5 will divide 17 over 5. 2 over 5 minus 2 over 5, it will give me 0. So the new value for 2 over 5 is what? 0. But I want to give you an hint. When you locate your key element, on that column, every element that is in that key column will be what? 0. Assuming, even if I didn't calculate the new value for 2 over 5, I know that it will give me 0. So when you locate your key element, after locating your key element, every element that falls on the top or below the key element will be what? 0 if you calculate it. So that is the reason why I don't stress myself. You are going to get 0. After calculating all this, you are going to get 0. Now let's get the new value for this 0 now. Don't forget, we are still using the same approach. So the new value for this 0 will be 0 itself, which is the whole value. 0 will become the whole value minus the product of the corresponding key row element. The corresponding key row element of 0 is 1. When you trace it up, the row element, the key row element that falls under 0 is what? 1. So I'm going to be having the product of 1 multiplied by the corresponding key column element is what? 2/5 multiplied by 2 all over 5 divided by the key element. 2/5 divided by the key element. The key element is 17/5. So I'm going to be having 17 all over 5. 1 multiplied by 2/5 will give me 2/5. 2/5 divided by the key element, which is what? 17 all over 5. 17 divided by 5. If I change this sign to multiplication sign, the 5 will come up, will become the numerator, and the 17 will become the denominator. We are going to have 1. At the end of the day, we are going to be resulting to 0 minus 17, 5/17. No, 0 minus 2/17. So the new value will now become minus 2 all over 17. So this is the new value for 10. The new value for 0 is now 2 minus 2/17. Now let us get the new value for 1/5. The new value for 1/5 will be 1/5 will become the whole value. So I'm going to be having 1/5 minus the product of the corresponding key row element, which is 4/5. 4/5 multiplied by the corresponding key column element is 2/5. So I'm going to be having the product of 4/5 multiplied by 2/5 divided by the key element. The key element is 17/5 divided by the key element, 17 all over 5. So 17/5. No, this is 5. So if you multiply this, 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. So I'm going to be having 8/25 in this bracket now. I'm going to be having 8/25 in this bracket. 8/25. 8/25 in this bracket. So if I change this division sign, if this division sign is changed to multiplication, so I'm going to be having 8/25 multiplied by this numerator will become, I will have 5/17 like that. 5 all over 17. So 5 here 1, 5 in 25, that will give me 5. At the end of the day, I'm going to be having 8 multiplied by 1. 8 multiplied by 1 is 8. So I'm going to be having, don't forget, 1/5. 1/5 minus 8 all over 5 multiplied by 17. That's 85. 8/85 like that. So I've gotten this as 1/5 minus 8/85. I'm going to get, let me write it here. 1/5 minus 8/85. The LCM is what? 85. The LCM is 85. So 85 divided by 5, that's 17. 85 divided by 5 is 17. 17 multiplied by 1 is 17. This subtraction sign will be here. 85 divided by 5 is 1. 1 multiplied by 8 will give me 8. So I'm going to be having 17 minus 8. That is 9. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be having 9/85. So I'm going to have 9/85. The new value of x4, which is 1/5, is what? 9/85. 9 divided by 85. So now I have gotten the new value of this row. I have gotten the new value of this row. Now the next thing to do is to construct the table of our zj. zj zj I'm going to be having the table of my zj. The table of pj, the value of the table of pj will be 10. I still have my 10 in here. 10 is still intact. Let me put the row here. 10 uh, 10 x2 is 6, x3 is 0, then x4 is 0 also. Now this is the table of my pj. Let me use a blue marker here, here also. Okay, now this is the table of my pj. Now how do I find the table of my zj? Okay, now let us get the value of zj. If you want to get the value of zj, the value of zj will be the addition of this and this. How do we add this? We are going to have zj, let me put it there, zj equals to 6x2 plus 10x1. This is the value of our zj. Now I'm going to be substituting the value of x2 in each row and the value of x1 in each row to get the value of zj. Let me pull a line here. So I'm going to be substituting the value of zj. For example, in this column now, in order to get the zj of this column, I'm going to substitute 0 as x2 in this row and 1 as x1 in this row. So the value of zj in this first column will be what? 6 into bracket 0, 6 into bracket 0 plus 10 into bracket. What's the value of x? The corresponding value of x1 is what? 1. 10 into bracket 1. So I'm going to be having 6 multiplied by 0 is what? 0. Plus 10 multiplied by 1 is 10. So I'm going to be having 10 as the final value of zj here. So the final value is 10. The reason why I don't calculate the value of zj for this one, for the real activity, is because it doesn't have any pj. It doesn't have any pj here. So I don't need the zj of this. So now let's proceed to the x2. Now to get the value of zj for the column x2, I'm still going to use this formula, but the element is going to be changing. The element is going to be changing. The element is going to be changing. Instead of 1 here, I'm going to have 6 into bracket. Corresponding value in that column will be what? 1 plus 10 into bracket. What is the value of this column? Is 0. So I'm going to be having 6 multiplied 6 plus 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus what? 10 times 0 is 0. So 6. The value of zj in that state is what? 6. Please, are you following me? Don't be confused at all. So in order to get the value of zj, let me put a line here. For the slack variable, now let us find the value of zj for the column x3. Now we are going to be using the same approach, which is this. So instead of the value of my x2 will become 5/17. So I'm going to be having 6/5/17. 6 into bracket 5 all over 17 plus 10 into bracket. What's the value of x1 on that column? The value of x1 on that column is minus 2/17, minus 2 all over 17. So I'm going to be having 5/17. 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to be having 30/17. This plus, then 10 multiplied by minus 2, I'm going to have minus 20 all over 17. So minus 20 plus times minus will be what? Plus. I'm going to have 30/17. Plus times minus is plus, minus. So minus 20/17, minus 20/17. The LCM is what? 17. I'm going to be having 30 minus 20. 30 minus 20 is 10. 10/17. That is the value of my zj in this place. 10/17. 10/17. So let's proceed to calculate the zj. The zj of this the zj of column x4, I'm still going to using the same approach. Okay, let me erase this. The zj of column x4, I have 4/17 and 9/5 as x2 and x1 correctly, respectively. So I'm going to have 6 into bracket. The value of x2 on column x4 is 4/17. 4/17 plus 10 into bracket x1. The value of x1 in column x4 is 9/85. 9/85. So 6 times 4 is 24. 24/17 plus 10 times 9 is 90. 90/85. So 85 and 17, the LCM is 85. 85 divided by 17, that is 85 divided by 17, that is 5. 5 multiplied by 24, that is 120. 120 plus 85 divided by 85, that is 1. 1 multiplied by 90, that is 90. So 120 plus 90, that is 210. 210 all over 85. So you can reduce the value if you like, and you can proceed, you can put it like that, but in this case I'm going to reduce the value. The value is 42/17. 42/17. 42/17 is also the same as 42 all over 17. So I have gotten the value of my zj. Now let's calculate the value of pj minus zj. pj minus zj. pj minus zj. So now the value of pj minus zj for this row, I'm going to have in 10. Pj is here, don't forget, and pj means the coefficient of our standard objective function. The coefficient of our standard objective function is known as the value of pj. Probably if you have not watched the first video that I dropped concerning this solution, kindly proceed back to the channel and watch the video. There I solved this question step by step before getting to this place. So therefore, kindly go back to the channel and watch the video, the part 1 of this question. So therefore, so that you will not make any mistake, the value of pj is here. So for this one, the pj is what, 10, and the zj is what, 10. The value of pj minus zj will be what, 10 minus 10, which is give me 0. So I'm going to have 0 here. Let me roll this one. I'm going to be having 0 in this place. 0 here. So for the second for this column x2, I'm going to be having 6 minus 6. The value of pj here is what, 6. The value of zj is 6. So I'm going to be having 6 minus 6, which is what, 0. For the third column, the value of zj is 10/17, while the value of pj is 0. So 0 minus 10/17 will give me minus 10/17. So for the next column, the value of pj there is 0, and the value of zj is what, 42/17. So the value of pj minus zj will be what, minus 42 all over 17. Now I told you when I start calculating the value of zj in this place, I told you that for we to obtain our optimal solution, pj minus zj must be less than or equals to 0. Now we have gotten the value of our pj minus zj. Now let's look at the value. 0 is less than or equals to 0. Yes, 0 is part. For this one also is also 0, and this one is negative, this one is negative. Therefore, this is our optimal solution. We have reached a conclusion. Assuming that we have a positive number here that is greater than 0, we are still going to proceed to the what, third iteration. But because we have already reached this point, therefore this is our final solution, because we have those values that we have as pj minus zj here, they are less than or equals to 0. So therefore we have reached an optimal solution here. Now let's proceed to calculate the value of the objective function. Don't forget that our objective function is this: z is equals to 10x1 plus 6x2. And from this table now, the real activity will be our x1 and x2. The real activity here is what, 20/17. And from this table, x2 is equals to 20/17, and x x1 is equals to what? 60 over 17. So let's come back to our objective function. Substitute the value of x1 and x2. x1 is here, so I'm going to have in this, and x2 is corresponding to 20 over 17. So substitute the value of x2 and x1 on our objective function. x1 is 60 over 17. I'm going to be having 10 into bracket 60 all over 17 plus 6 into bracket 6 into bracket 20 over 17. So 10 multiplied by 60 is 600 over 17. 600 over 17 plus 6 multiplied by 20 is 120 over 17. 120 over 17. So the LCM is 17. 17 divided by 17, 1 multiplied by 600 plus 17 divided by 17, that is 1 multiplied by 120, that is 120. So 600 plus 120, that is 720. 720 divided by 17. So the solution is 720. You can proceed to put in decimal form. 720 divided by 17, that is 720 divided by 17. You can put it in decimal form or in fractional form, but I decided to put it like this. So the solution to this question, is this. So we have come to the end of the solution. Kindly hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you will know when I drop new videos. That is how to solve linear programming using Simplex method. And if you have any question, you can let me know on the comment box. I will attend to every question. Thank you very much. Beloved Academy appreciate you. I look forward to see your reaction on the video.
On this channel, you will find information, concepts explanation, tutorials video with detailed explanation that will assist you in gaining more knowledge and insight. In addition, our channel features past question, solution to questions you are likely to encounter in exam, solution to all past questions. Please kindly subscribe. All questions are solved with simplicity.